3 he missed in the game.
What's that sound I hear? All that rustling in the distance. That's Roberto Aguayo coming back to claim
ghost.
what was once his, the prodigal son returning to Tampa.
Wait, you don't need Roberto Aguayo because there's another Aguayo at Florida State right now. Just draft him.
Just wait. Florida State
first round
very
pick.
reliable.
Yes, take him.
Get Sebastian Janikowski in there too, and his weird back.
I don't understand what Dirk Cutter was doing. I think I officially am saying Dirk Cutter's trash. Well, and I'm basing this off one game that I watched, but
it was a primetime game.
But it was a primetime game, and you know what primetime games are. Primetime games are where you make all your decisions for the rest of the games. So he was going for it here. He tried a long kick with Nick Folk, who can't kick anything, on like a 4th and 2. Yep. He then had 4th and goal, tried to kick, missed it. Then did a onside kick when he didn't need to do an onside kick. Dirk Cutter, you are in the trash pile.
We don't talk about another man's job, though, so be careful.
You're right.
Dirk is a guy that I'm still not entirely convinced he's an actual NFL head coach. He doesn't really look like he looks like somebody that works in a Home Depot, like the guy that helps you cut your keys.
Yeah.
Or the guy you call, when you're buying a 2x4, and you're like, I need it to be exactly like 28 inches long.
He's
like,
great
gotcha.
on the Sawzall. He's got the back brace, and he's walking around. And he knows where every fucking thing is. Home Depot, by the way, they don't do ads with us or anything like this, but man, their staff really always knows where everything is.
I was going to say
they're really great at that.
Great smelling store too. You walk in a Home Depot.
I've never asked someone at Home Depot for something and they weren't. You know, like when you go to like a CVS or Walgreens, they're like, I don't fucking know. It's like aisle something or other. You go to Home Depot, you ask, they're like, you take 15 paces down aisle 14, and then you'll see the little like 2-inch nails right there.
Dirk knows where everything is except for the end zone.
Yeah.
He'll need to call somebody else over for that.
Jameis, what are our thoughts on Jameis? Let's go hot takes on Jameis.
Hot take on Jameis is he is really fun to watch throw interceptions because you never know where that dang ball is going to go.
I'm going to say something nice about Jameis.
All right.
He throws the ball with a lot of confidence, even though it's usually into like triple teams. But a lot of confidence.
He sure slings that thing, doesn't he?
He's shocked when he throws an interception.
Jameis Winston leads the league. I don't have the stat, but I'm sure that it's true. He is the league leader in passes attempted when his knee is really close to the ground and they have to go back and review whether or not he was down before he passed the ball.
Yes, he's always in those plays. Jameis also just is more like fodder for my theory that the NFL quarterback situation, there's no tiers, there's no elite and non-elite. It's just either you suck or you can win a Super Bowl, and Jameis Winston will, in my estimation, will ever be a really good sucky quarterback. Like he's going to be at that top tier of guys like, maybe Jameis Winston will put it together this year. Who knows?
The thing that you cheer the most for if you're a Tampa Bay fan when you're watching play is like going back to the replay and being like, that wasn't an interception, that was a sack. See, told you, that was a sack.
Good momentum.
And occasionally, like, he'll throw the ball to Deshaun Jackson, who just like runs past people still.
Yes,
because I guess he doesn't get older.
Yeah.
You have to either hit Deshaun Jackson on like the 30-yard line and then have him get tackled on the 10, or just find him in the end zone and just not let him make that decision on the 1-yard line to throw the ball away.
Yeah, to drop it.
But he's good in the other like 70 yards of the field.
I have a stat for you.
Oh.
You ready for it?
Okay.
186. You know what that is?
No.
That is the most career regular season wins by a quarterback. Tom Brady tied it. I think he tied it with Peyton Manning. So, Tom Brady, congrats, I guess, on winning a bunch of meaningless games. When are you going to win the big one, dude?
Yeah, so
great regular season quarterback.
He's basically the Washington Capitals of football.
Yeah, always just putting together good regular season numbers there, Tom.
Great job, Tom. Really proud of you. I want to continue our discussion from last week. Pick it up where we left off on Tony Romo, because tonight was Tony Romo's coming out party where the rest of America saw what we've been seeing him for the past, and everybody was just like, I wish he would shut up.
Well, so here's the problem. Here's where Tony Romo lands with me now. What he says, for the most part, is actually like interesting. He does have those moments where like, I didn't think of that, or that's something new that no other analyst is doing. But again, like we've said, gotta let it breathe. Gotta let those puppies breathe. Tony Romo should just take off his shoes and socks in the booth and just kind of just chill out. You know, like, hey, Tony, you're on a long flight to LA. Take your shoes off. which is a move I like to do.
I know.
Take your shoes off,
by the way.
chill out, stretch those dogs out, and just, hang out.
Jim Nantz will be like,
you got nowhere to go.
It smells like toast in here, friends.
Right. You got nowhere to go. There's no rush. It's the first quarter. Just relax.
Yeah, he talks way too much. Say what you want about Phil Sims when he used to call the games.
That's a wonky name.
It's a wonky name. But when Sims would talk, at least he'd pause for a couple seconds so that his brain could figure out what it was he just said.
Yeah, that was actually, if you can fault Tony Romo on one thing, is that the CTE hasn't set in yet. So it's kind of slowing him down. I mean, it's actually speeding him up for his telecast.
I don't think that Tony takes cocaine per se, but I wouldn't be surprised if he took like 3 Sudafeds.
He's happy.
And if he drank a bunch of Surge and Mountain Dew. And here's what he does. He does the Diet Coke Mentos trick with Sudafed and Code Red Mountain Dew before the game.
You know what it is? And I won't begrudge him for this. I think Tony is just very happy because he's finally found a job where people like him. So it's like this is a nice thing for Tony. He's finally having a spot where people are like, "Hey, Tony Romo, pretty damn good," instead of, "Hey, Tony Romo, how's he going to blow this?"
But
playoff
here's the thing. I found myself at the end of the game when he was like starting to predict things down to the second.
Yeah,
like they're going to have to snap off at about 3 seconds.
Yeah,
and I'm rooting against him now. Rooting against him in the booth is actually becoming as fun as rooting against him on the field was when he's like, now this could be a screen here. In my head, I'm like, throw the fucking ball deep. Just right in his face.
Yeah, he just needs. I honestly do think that Tony Romo can find it. He just needs to smoke like a pack a day. Get that voice just an octave lower and let it breathe.
Yeah,
take the shoes off.
His voice is too loud and high-pitched and shrill.
Maybe put on some wet socks. Just put on some
I don't know what it is.
If he just sat with wet socks
with you
in the
and
booth,
Tony Romo's feet, but it's I like it.
Yeah, it's something. I got it
going.
I
like it a lot.
I have another question for you. Hank, it's actually a question for you. Ooh. Is Chris Sale a bum?
His arm is bummed out. Yes.
He has bum-like tendencies in his shoulder and elbow.
I feel bad for Chris Sale because he is one of the best pitchers in a long time, and he pitched on a lot of White Sox teams that didn't get to the playoffs, and boy did he stink when he finally got to the playoffs.
But I thought he was one of the best pitchers in baseball.
He is. I think he's like the last month he's not been good, but Chris Sale is one of those guys that was so good and so dominant on bad teams, and now that he's in the playoffs and it's like, you're waiting all this time for this?
Sorry, we got David Price coming game 2.
Oh, great, yeah.
From the bullpen.
Really good. So he's going to be your setup man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How's he doing with the media, by the way? I hear that's his major malfunction is he does not respect the Boston press corps.
Malfunction.
It's going great. Everything's going great over in Boston.
That was one of those ones that was great because everyone predicted when David Price went to Boston, they're like, he's not going to be able to handle the media. Like, no, that's overblown. It was like, no, he really can't.
Yeah, what I love about the whole Boston media situation is everyone just kind of acknowledges, they're like, we got a special breed of assholes up here. And so if you're a normal person, you won't be able to handle it. You have to be either like a really nice guy like Kevin Millar who gets along with everyone.
Yes.
Or you have to be the world's biggest asshole so you can you earn each other's respect.
Yes. The other series that started, the Indians and the Yankees, the Indians are up 1-0. I think they will sweep, but the Yankees did get that one good troll. They tweeted out a picture of LeBron holding a Yankees hat. So it was like pinstripe pride from like 10 years ago.
That's really sad.
So 1-0 in the real score for the Yankees because everything gets won and lost on Twitter.
Let's ask the question: has LeBron James earned his pinstripes? I would say no.
I'd say no as well. I'd say no. He's got to win at least one with them. Yeah. So we'll see if he can do it, if he can get it done. And then we got more playoff baseball, which we might have our friend Jared Carabas on the show on Monday for a little playoff baseball recap. A lot of playoff baseball this weekend. I'm excited. Cubs in 4. All right, let's get to our.
Let's talk about that real quick because we do have the Nats Cubs series kicking off.
Feeling good.
Care to make a mayor's bet?
Oh, I knew you were going to go mayor's bet. Yeah, let's make it.
Love a good mayor's bet.
Loser has to sing take on me.
What bet did we make? Oh, yeah, we did. Okay, yeah.
Remember that? I played it on base.
No, loser has to do Electric Avenue.
Okay.
Yeah. Acapella. To start the show after the loss. The first show after the loss, and you got to pretend to be happy.
So Monday show?
We're going the whole series.
Whole series. Got to do it right after and pretend to be happy.
Okay.
Yeah. really be like smile the whole time. Yeah.
Well, it's going to be recorded on an audio medium.
Yeah, but
so
no,
the smiling
It's more
doesn't
about
really
the,
matter.
more about the effort in your voice.
you
not
can see
really.
a smile through the
You
microphone.
can hear a smile.
Watch this. See, am I smiling, people? Am I smiling, people? See, you can hear that. You can hear the difference. All
It
right.
takes more muscles to frown than it does to smile. So technically, when you're smiling, you're just being lazy.
Also, it burns 10 calories to eat celery.
Also, that's why Ben Roethlisberger is always he's walking around upset because he's a hard worker.
My nose is broken again.
Oh, hey Ben, you never put your foot in me
Hey,
anymore.
Ben, it's me, your boot.
Hey Ben, I
seem to be
wish your foot be feeling mighty sore again, so we could get back to being best of friends.
Hey, Ben, you seem to be struggling on the road. Need an excuse? Put me on.
Hey, look, I'll get my friend the scooter.
Yeah. Oh, that was our recurring segment, Big Ben's walking boot. All right. Before we get to a little Week 5 preview and Playmakers episode 2, I want to talk to you about SeatGeek. We have playoff baseball all weekend long. College, football, NFL. You can do it all with SeatGeek. SeatGeek saves you time and money by searching multiple ticket sites to compare prices and find amazing deals. And to get you the most bang for your buck, SeatGeek grades every ticket based on value to help you immediately identify the best seats that fit your budget. Plus, every purchase is fully guaranteed, so you can shop for tickets on SeatGeek with confidence. And it doesn't end with sports. SeatGeek also has plenty of concert, comedy, and theater tickets available too. Best of all of our listeners get $10 off their first SeatGeek purchase. Just download the SeatGeek app and enter promo code TAKE, T-A-K-E. That's promo code TAKE for $10 off your first SeatGeek purchase. Put in that promo code TAKE right now. $10 off for buying you a free beer. Do it. SeatGeek, promo code TAKE. All right. Let's do our picks. So, again, we are doing our NFL locks every Friday. None of us remember what our picks are. Someone out there is going to compile these and tell us who wins, and loser has to kill a debutante. Or was that
That was last year.
That was Major League Baseball bet.
Yeah, that was last year. Yeah,
So if you haven't caught on, we're big in the prediction business, guys. We love to predict stuff. All right, who wants to go first?
Hank, why don't you go ahead?
I love the Packers.
Oh, what's the line?
Love
Hey,
the Packers.
hey.
+2. I love money line.
You
I
want
love
to
them straight up.
Okay, so first of all, we need to say who the Packers are playing.
Yeah,
against.
why don't you
Packers-
introduce it?
The Packers
Little
are playing the
professionalism.
Cowboys this
Ooh,
weekend.
hey, Hank, quick
Those
question.
two teams never
did
play
Dez
each other.
catch it?
Ooh,
Yeah, we're going to have to bring that debate back.
I think he did.
Ooh, okay.
Okay.
Oh,
Over
but
under,
what's the catch?
Over under the number of replays of that Dez play.
2.5. Oh, no. Actually, I'm going to go 1.5.
And they're show it twice.
No, because they're going to show when the fake artificial wind was piped into Dallas Stadium and got that field goal from Mason Crosby went through, and Skip Bayless is still trying to look for the killer.
Just had everybody on one side of the stadium fart at the same time.
That's what, hey, Skip Bayless looked
Call
at
that
that
the
tee.
old-
He still can't
that's
believe
the
that
old-
Mason Crosby hit that kick.
Jerry Jones, Texas tornado. We all just let the wind break.
We just opened our glory hole. All right. You got the Packers?
Love the Packers.
You sure?
Okay, I love the Packers.
Love them spread. Love them money line.
Is it, by the way,
All day, every day.
just as a, I'm just going to throw this out there, and I know it's probably not going to happen, but wouldn't it be so funny if Tony Romo retires and then everyone's like, wow, the Cowboys are set up for the future, and then it just Dak Prescott sucks. Like, he's like, oh, yeah, and then he sucks.
Last year was an aberration.
It was
By
an
the way,
RG3 year.
It's aberration season. Around like week 4, week 5,
Yeah.
week 6, we start to toss the A word around. So
Yeah.
keep
Yeah.
your rabbit ears up for
Is
that.
it an aberration, or is it going to keep it up all season?
Is Nick Folk an aberration? I still think when I hear that word, I just think that they're talking about like some sort of mirage that appears.
Yeah.
An apparition is
Yeah.
what I always hear.
No spread on Mitchell yet. What's up with that?
I don't know. I think they're just seeing like, is it
It's
going
neither
to
or
be
game.
Bears -21 or Bears -28?
Vegas just doesn't know.
No, I
Vegas
think
is
Sammy Sleeves is still waiting to
someone
see.
in the desert knows.
All right, PFT.
My pick, I'm taking the 49ers as road dogs plus 1.5 over Indy.
That's your team.
That's my team.
You love the Niners.
Love the Niners.
Love betting on them.
Love Shanahan.
Yep.
I mostly just love betting against Chuck Pagano in his permanent hot seat.
Yeah, he's done.
I think
Well,
his hot seat has become just like a giant hookah right now, and
Yeah.
Jim Irsay just goes over and tosses like a big pile of, whatever on it.
he's
Just-
probably like Chuck Pagano after every game is probably just Googling like how to cry extra tears so that when he has his season-ending meeting with Jim Irsay and the tears come out, he can really put on the waterworks and stay.
quick tip for any aspiring head coach out there, if you want to keep your job for an extra year, take an acting class. Like, remember Obama used to cry fake tears whenever tragedies would happen to him?
Yep.
So you just poke yourself in the eye, or you think of something really sad like a tragedy that happened, and then it makes you cry a lot, and then everyone's like, oh, this guy, we'll just keep him around for another year.
Yeah.
Okay. But I did some quick math here.
Yeah.
And I see that if the 49ers are 1.5 point road dogs in Indy, that means that Vegas thinks that the Cleveland Browns are 5 points better than the 49ers on a neutral field, which wouldn't we all just love to see?
Yeah, I would love to see that.
Like,
but
at the bottom of the ocean.
hey, that's a great segue, my friend, because guess what I'm betting on this weekend?
The Browns Jets.
minus 1.5 against the Jets. I think the Jets are frauds. I think they caught the Jaguars at a nice time after England. Jay Cutler's still working some things out, so the Jets could easily be 0-4. He's still working some things out. Jets could easily be 0-4. It's a wonky year, like we always said. I like the Browns minus 1.5, and let me just tickle you here with this. Right, ready for this? Browns' upcoming schedule: Texans, Titans, Vikings, Lions, Jaguars, Bengals, Chargers, Packers, Ravens, Bears, Steelers. Could the Browns go 2-14?
The Browns could.
They could win 2 games.
I could see them stretching out to 3.
I'm just saying.
Do you want to win that
Wait,
third
hold
game?
on. Let me read that to you again.
Are we so sure the Browns are bad?
Titans, Vikings, Lions, Jaguars, Bengals, Chargers, Packers, Ravens, Bears, Steelers. I'm not crossing them out.
Steelers, Ravens, Bears, Packers, Vikings, Ravens, Titans. You know, I'm not sure they're bad yet.
Yeah, I'm not crossing them out on my will they win 2 games.
Well, I'm crossing them out in my other league.
Yeah.
On my other list I have.
I'm gonna cross them out on the will they win 4 games, but 2 games.
I've got
still could do it.
Yeah, so I've got 2 lists. One I'm not sure they're good on. One I'm not sure they're bad.
All right, Hank, cue the music. Playmakers, episode 2. We are our book club. It is our new book club. If you missed it, we are rewatching the classic Playmakers show that aired in 2003, then was taken off the air because the NFL was like, no, this is too real for us. So we're rewatching the whole thing. We started with episode 1 last Friday. Episode 2, I didn't watch.
Mea culpa. I did watch, but I watched like the first 20 minutes of it.
Yeah, so
and then I got distracted. Hank watched most of it, I think.
Yeah, so let's review it though.
Okay, yeah.
Hey, listen, you know what? Just like we're going to throw it out there. If anyone expected us to keep up with this every week, you don't really know us well. We'll get back next week. Keep watching. We're going to still do the review.
Right.
It's just sometimes we just do Wikipedia.
Worst case scenario, you guys just watched an episode of Playmakers for nothing. So congratulations. That's
good
pretty
job.
awesome.
Yeah. Okay. So episode 2 recap from 2 guys that watched half of it and 1 guy that didn't watch any.
So it started out. This episode is called The Piss Man. Okay. So right off the bat, you knew it was going to be a hot one. And it was the running back with DH. The young guy.
Yeah.
And he just like took off all his clothes and he was thinking to himself as people were like watching him piss. He's like, cocaine stays in your system for 72 hours. When was the last time I did mine? The day before yesterday. And then me and Hank got into a little argument when we heard that.
During the show, did you pause it?
No, we kept it going. And Hank was like, wait, so it's out of his system. And I was like, wait, hang on. How many hours? And then Hank was like, so it's 72 hours it's out, and the day before yesterday, I said, wait, so it's yesterday would be 24 hours, the day before would be 48. And then Hank goes, no, it'd be 72. It was like that bodybuilding thread where the guys couldn't agree on how many days were in a week. But I think we compromised, and we said, let's just say that the day before yesterday was like 52 hours ago.
So still in his system.
And then he went to go see a doctor. To see how he could get around the piss test.
Yeah, is this where it stopped? Is this where you guys stopped watching?
A little bit after that.
Okay.
So the doctor said that you can insert a catheter into yourself, into your own glory hole, and pump clean pee into your own bladder, and then you have to pee that clean pee out later.
Yeah. It's like docking.
Yeah.
So you dock yourself with
pee.
with PVC pipe, and then you run the pee through it. And then DH said, wow, this doctor must be some sort of F word, except he used a hard F that we don't say anymore because it's 2016.
Yep.
But that was on ESPN, unbleeped, unfiltered, unedited in 2003.
Wow. Yeah. Okay, so how it ended, because I read the Wikipedia, so I actually watched the episode.
Okay.
He did get the bladder thing. He did it. So he docked himself with urine. He got the bladder thing, and Guard Dog, who I don't know who that is, got caught.
that was the guy that gave him the P.
So he got caught.
So here's the thing. Guard Dog has a problem with who he chooses to associate himself with because he was the one that got suspended for DH in episode 1 because he was too busy trying to like wake him up and get him to the game on time. So he has a real problem in selecting friends.
Yeah. Also, the kicker got cut. And just showed the hardships of...
Ooh, little foreshadowing for Nick Folk.
Also, and Koo. Koo's man.
That's not Koo.
And Derek McConnell, the quarterback, it says right here on Wikipedia, he's sucking down anti-inflammatories like candy. So watch out for that, guys. Foreshadow.
I don't think it was anti-inflammatories because he was getting in the ice bath and he listed a bunch of stuff that sounded like generic names for narcotics. A lot of oxys in there. Okay. So, not just the anti-inflams.
Tune in for episode 3 next week. That was electric.
Wait, so all that happened was a man put another man's... You don't talk about another man's urine. Yeah. And he put it in his own body, and then he peed it out, and that was
no longer a Mormon.
And that was 40. Yeah. That's soaking. He soaked his bladder.
He soaked his own bladder with pee.
But that's all that happened.
Yeah,
because DH got away with
he got
drugs?
away with it, and Guard Dog got caught.
Okay.
So, all right, that was Playmakers episode 2. Make sure you tune in next week. Playmakers episode 3.
I don't know how they're going to follow that one up.
I'm gonna put it out there right now. I'm guaranteeing this is a Big Cat guarantee. I will watch episode 3. Yeah, there it is. Cue the music. All right, let's get to our interview with David Ross, who came in and visited us in studio. Before we do that, this weekend you can win some money with DraftKings. The 1 week fantasy spot this Sunday. DraftKings is hosting a $100,000 contest that is totally free to enter. With DraftKings, there are many ways to play. Choose between public contests with big cash prizes or private contests where you can compete against a group of your friends. DraftKings also has beginner and casual contests where you'll play against people of similar skill level, and you'll never burn up the waiver wire trying to replace injured players because you get to pick a new team every week. So get to DraftKings.com right now. Use promo code BIGCAT, BIGCAT, to play in DraftKings free contest with $100,000 in total prizes this Sunday. That's promo code BIGCAT to compete for your share of $100,000 in total prizes. The contest is totally free to enter. Why wouldn't you try? DraftKings, the game inside the game. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details. All right, we now welcome on two-time World Series champion. It is David Ross. He's here with us with the Scott's MLB Field refurbishment. So it's MLB.com/ScottField. You are going to give new fields to 5 different little leagues across the country?
Yeah, I'm super excited. I'm going to be the ambassador, be on a panel for MLB and Scott's, and we're going to choose 5 fields across the country that they're going to give $50,000 and help refurbish the field and the community and bring a little light to the area and hopefully clean up the field so the kids have a nice facility to play on.
Are you going to do the Les Miles where you like just start chewing on grass and
no,
test out the field?
No, I'm going to keep it professional for once.
Okay.
For once in my career, I'm going to try to like wear something nice, a little ribbon ceremony, be there, shake some hands, kiss some babies.
I like it. Do you do that? Do you cut a ribbon for a field?
Yeah, we're going to do it.
Do you do the shovel? Shovel?
Yeah, I'd be more of a shovel guy. You're a hard hat guy. You should be a shovel guy.
I want the giant scissors. I want to cut like where it's like, okay, here we go. Ta-da.
Yeah. So it's Scottsfield, MLB.com/Scottsfield.
Yeah.
Scottsfield.
Yes.
Got it. And we were just talking, you're doing Baseball Tonight stuff, right?
I am doing a lot of stuff with ESPN and just called a game yesterday in Texas and going to do the World Series and kind of talk backs for Baseball Tonight.
I like it. So we have a little secret to let you in on about your new co-host, Mark Teixeira, because he came on the podcast, 2 months ago during the All-Star game.
Yeah.
And he let us know that he's not a fan of wearing underwear ever. He only wears, this is the weirdest part, okay?
Yeah.
He wears straight up a jock strap.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Did you know that?
Wait.
So
when he wears normal pants,
when you're hanging,
pants, he wears like just the jockstrap pouch.
Yeah, so you're sitting next to a bare ass Mark Teixeira.
I got to ask him the reason. Did he give you a reason?
He's comfort.
Yeah.
He says it's just guys being dudes.
He likes the boys to hang.
Yeah, he says just comfort, and it's like he doesn't sweat.
No chafe. Who doesn't sweat down there? That's weird.
That's the other part of his equation. He dumps like a half ton of just
Gold Bond.
That's
Gold Bond guy. He likes the tingle. That's what it is. He likes it. I'm going to get all over him about that when I see him. I'll see him in a couple days.
Just know that you're sitting next to a man who doesn't have.
Where do you buy? Is there like a man jockstrap that's not like a bike or like a Franklin jock? Is there like a
Nike or or something?
I'm sure he's probably buying in bulk, so he can tell you the best place to get them.
I want to ask him, like, is there like a Calvin Klein?
Yes, probably.
Men's.
He seems like kind of
That's
a pretty
almost
boy.
like a thong.
Yeah.
He's clean cut.
He's definitely cleaned up. All right, so you're here with us. You've done everything. So I guess what went wrong to get you finally to here? Because like you did SNL, you did a book.
I thought this was the
like,
climb. I thought this was the climb.
No. This is the bottom.
You guys are on your. No, I'll never forget. I got to the Red Sox, and all the guys were telling me about this thing called Barstool. And I'm like, what's Barstool? You got to get this app Barstool. And I'm like, all right, cool. When I start flipping, and then all of a sudden it's an addiction. Like, what's going on in the world today? What craziness is going on? And then I get to meet you in Chicago, and you guys are just. I mean, you guys are. I see you on ESPN sometimes, or mentioning Barstool stuff, and I'm like, you guys are giant. What are you talking about? You guys are. This is the way. It's the graph is going up.
So we're ahead of SNL
and ahead of Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
So I've got kind of a bone to pick with you. I'm a big fan of gritty guys, right? Of like journeyman type guys, which you were. But then at the end, you kind of sold out.
You went bling.
You switched. You went Hollywood on us.
I did a little bit.
What's it like being a sellout?
Well, and that was my scare. My biggest fear was that everybody was going to be like, this dude, we hate D. Ross, and he was a backup. Now he thinks he's this big time player. And I've gotten so much good response from the guys in MLB. Maybe not here at Barstool, but MLB is really. I mean, Chris Sale came and told me a cool story about his son and watching each show and then giving me a score. Like he had these cards laid out and give me a score, and I was just in Anaheim and a bunch of guys there. Like, dude, my wife would tape it. I'd sit down and watch it. So it was definitely outside of my comfort zone. And one of my biggest fears was, like, is this even something that I'm interested in doing? And it turns out it's one of the greatest things I've ever done. So I'm definitely not ashamed of doing it. And before I started, that was a factor for me. And I grew up in a more of a tough area in Tallahassee and more of a redneck kind of background, and dancing was definitely not my forte, but I'm happy I did it, and I understand your concerns because I had the same one.
So all you do is when you put on your white collar shirt, just like sew your name tag on the front. The old blue collar name tag, have it both ways.
Yeah, you got to have it like this. See, it's embroidered, Scott's MLB, like how it's like sewn in rather than like an actual name tag. But what about now? Now we get to hang out, and now are you still like disappointed in me?
Oh, you're still a pretty boy. You roll with like 17 people.
You're
like a posse.
I got out of like it wasn't an Uber here. It was like a nice they paid for the whole car service. It was I'm big time.
People can't see this right now, but you're smoking a long like Cruella de Vil cigarette in our face.
My
and, like,
security guard's right outside the door.
Fur jacket. Yeah, just fucking 90 degrees out, and you're wearing a fur jacket.
You can take the monocle off for the rest of this interview.
All right, perfect.
All right, so you to your playing days, you were, like PFT said, a journeyman, kind of a grit guy, a grinder, ultimate clubhouse guy. So we're clubhouse guys. We're kind of guys who, like, you throw us in a clubhouse and we'll get everything going. We'll get everyone happy. What are like the number one or number two things that like you do as a clubhouse guy to keep everyone loose?
Oh man, you don't take yourself too seriously, right? I watch you guys. You guys,
I piss my pants.
Yeah, I could care. Like,
I've been pissing in the sink. People get mad at me.
I think honesty.
I thought that was a clubhouse guy move too.
Well, yeah, it is kind of like a dirty move. It just depends on how bad you got to go and who's in. I mean, if they're in the stall, you got to.
Yeah, don't think that like, haha, that's funny, guys. Like clubhouse shit.
That was one of those things, like, it was funny in college, and then all of a sudden now we're adults.
Some of us grew up.
Our demo is college.
Okay, so, right. No, I know that. I know that. But it's but at some point, you got to be an adult.
I do use the bathroom the majority of the time.
Okay. Well, that's a step in the right direction.
Yeah. But that's my spit and sink. I spit in that sink, and I can't have somebody peeing in it.
Well, here's what I'm getting at, is the honesty that you guys present. That's what makes a good clubhouse guys. Like, look, I'm out. I make mistakes. Is who I am, and I've had them all day with me, so I hadn't taken my morning shit. Like, I really, it's like I feel that. Like, I feel like the judgment coming from them. I don't want to stink up the bathroom right next to them, and so you let yourself out there, know what's going on, and just be real with people. I think people just want honesty and be real, and so that's how I roll. I think that's what teammates want in the clubhouse, and it makes it fun.
Were you a big prank guy?
I wasn't a big prank guy. Ryan Dempster there's always a guy. Demp did a lot of that stuff. I wasn't a big prank guy because I didn't like to be pranked too much. You got to a point, a young guy, you took it. When you got older, you're like, hey, Don't pick on the old guy. Don't pick on the old guy.
Do you guys? Were you guys like, oh, here goes Dempster again with the fucking Harry Carey thing?
No, I wasn't. I love it. Everything he does for me is funny. Yeah. No, he's fine. He's fine for me. I loved him.
Yeah, like when you're young, it's funny in spring training if somebody fills up your car with like peanuts. But when you get older, you're like, I got to go pick my kids up like from practice later.
I don't got time. I don't got time for this. Like I had a tea time in like 30 minutes, or my kids are. I got to rush them from one practice to another, and we got to get homework done in the car. So yeah, it's not funny anymore when you get older.
So we are big clubhouse guys, but we're also big alpha guys. We always have to figure out who's the alpha on the team. Who's the alpha on the Cubs right now?
Lackey.
Yeah?
Ooh,
Lackey.
okay.
I would say.
So what happens if he doesn't make the postseason rotation?
He's gonna be upset. I mean,
you think?
Yeah. I mean, he's gonna be
mad, red, and nude.
He's gonna be pissed, and rightfully so. I mean, the dude's got 3 rings. I mean, if anybody's got the resume, like how do you balance like past success? And I mean, is John Lester your game 1 starter? This dude's an absolute animal, but is he pitching the best right now? I mean, that's the questions you ask yourself. So I mean, at this time of year, you can't get your feelings hurt. We had a saying, and no hurts feelings. It's one of our coaches said, messed that up. But anyways, it's one of those things. The alpha male sometimes just doesn't work out for you. You know, I mean, that's everybody.
So the Cubs, the 2017 Cubs, had a little slow out of the gate. People were saying hangover from the World Series, all kinds of different things. A couple guys were struggling. One of the theories out there was they really missed you and Dexter Fowler. Not to pat yourself on the back, but do you think there was an element of them adjusting to a new locker room without that kind of locker room presence there?
Maybe. I mean, if you put it like that, maybe. But I honestly don't take enough credit, or shouldn't take credit for that kind of stuff. There's each clubhouse each year has a different dynamic, and you get to know your teammates and how you work well together, and that's a process every year. Even my first year there, that I had to get to know those guys and become their friends, and then they have to respect me and I have to respect them. I mean, that's a whole process. I think what you're seeing in baseball with the Cleveland Indians and the Chicago Cubs, the 2 best teams in the second half, is that the World Series hangover is for real, and these guys needed a little bit of an all-star break and now have hit their stride. When they get into more intense games, I think it's as much mental as physical, where you play at the highest level and the most intense level from the middle of September to the end of or early November, and then all of a sudden you come back and play a day game on Wednesday,
right, like in Cincinnati.
Right? Yeah, you're like, I'm not feeling this, you know. And there's 14,000 people in the stands, and you're like, I'm not vibing to this. And so once they started hitting their stride, playing well, having a little bit of break, I think it was great that none of them made the All-Star team for the Cubs, other than Wade Davis and anybody from last year. I'm saying, and I think it's one of those things. Like, okay, now we're starting to click. Got a little bit of break, and now the energy's there, and they're playing their best baseball. I felt that series in Milwaukee was impressive, right? I mean, really good baseball, intense, and I just saw the fire in the reactions on base hits and in the dugout, and just looked like the team of last year a lot more.
Do you speak Spanish or Spanglish?
A little bit, yeah. Spanglish, yeah.
Because that's a clubhouse guy. Like Kevin Millar, he's obviously we interviewed him. He's a clubhouse guy. I feel like you gotta bring both sides there, where the guys who speak Spanish and
now you know what the biggest part of a good clubhouse is a quality Latin player that's able to communicate both sides, and like a Pedro Strop.
Yep.
Awesome dude.
Yeah.
Awesome dude. And he can mix and match. Like he can help me understand maybe if a guy doesn't speak English, like a Aroldis Chapman didn't speak a whole lot of English. So he's like helping me understand and translate, and personality. You know, the personality is hard to break when you have that language barrier.
That makes sense.
Did you ever play with Kevin?
Millard? No. I played a bunch of the guys I've played with has played with him. I hung out with Lackey one All-Star break last year, and Millar lives like just down the street from him, so we were just at Lake Austin jet skiing all day. So I know him pretty well.
Probably for the best that you didn't play. All he does is just talk about dicks all the time.
Yeah, he just talks about everyone else's dick.
Yeah,
he just wants to know about everyone else's
dick. The guy is an encyclopedia of Major League dicks that he'll just open up for you without even asking.
That's what I said to the guys, not to get too personal, but when I go back to the locker room, the last time I was there, I walked in, they were done with the game, they won. It was, hey, nice game, whatever, and I was walking out, and I walked by the showers, and I poked my head in and said, hey, guys, I really miss this. Really miss this.
Kevin's a funny guy, but he has a one-track mind, and it's all just penises.
Yeah.
Speaking of hangovers from the World Series, how long were you guys drunk for after that was over?
Well, a while. I mean, I felt like I don't feel like we ever I felt like I was sober the whole time because I was drunk the whole time.
Yeah,
Does that make
I
any
hear
sense?
you.
Right? It got from after the game till a few days after the parade, and then I had to go back and be a dad. You know, I was like, okay, get the kids back in school, stop the parade. I still tell the guys, they don't understand. They had to go back to work. I'm still on the World Series tour until this World Series. Yeah, that's what I'm doing here.
Right,
we're here to talk about 2016
Current
World Series.
World Series champion,
still on the tour. Yeah,
still on the tour.
Still there. Yeah, it's cool. I'm partying.
Yeah.
I'm actually still riding their coattails. It's something I've been doing to a lot of players my entire career, and those guys have put me on a platform. And you know, you talking about the embossed emblem? Those guys gave me that. They put me on this platform.
So you took your kids out of school?
I did.
It's truancy. That's actually against the law.
Well, they're in private school now because I'm big time, right?
Yeah.
So
big shot.
So
forgot about
they
that.
actually
Hollywood.
they sent us the curriculum. So we had a tutor in Chicago would come by once a week. And
Sure, you guys
like,
took that very seriously.
Yeah, they were drinking beers.
They were pounding on the plane ride back. My daughter's in the back. Tell you the scariest moment for me, and my daughter's 10, and we're flying back, and we're passing the trophy around, and next thing my son's passed out behind me, and my wife on the row back. Right? Yeah, he's out. He actually had the flu. He was throwing up all day. So
sure.
If you can rally, dude.
That's what I tell him.
Come on,
game up, dude. Who are you? You're like set a bad example for our family name here. In the back, I look back, my wife's like with all the. I mean, my daughter's back there with all the wives, and him and her and Hinsky's daughter were back there jamming away and singing the songs and doing. I'm like, wait a minute, no. You're not in the back of the plane. Like get your 10-year-old butt up here.
Have you had to pay for a beer in Chicago yet?
I haven't paid for much. That city has treated me so great.
There's Billy at Country Club. He hooks it up.
My God.
Yeah.
Everybody has been so nice to me there. Restaurants, I don't even know. I walk in there and I'm like, whose life am I living? Like, keep my head down and just say thank you. Yeah,
yes,
it's been just keep saying thank you. Those people treat me so good.
So I have a theory that popped up from, I don't know if you saw the Nacho Man. The Nacho Man in the Cardinals.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So Lester came out and was like, I don't give a fuck about this guy.
Why is this guy famous?
Right. Why is this guy famous? So I kind of, my theory was that all pitchers have to have that little bit of like asshole dickhead streak to be successful. You obviously caught Lester. You're his personal catcher. You also caught Lackey. Do you think that the pitchers that have that little bit extra edge are better, or have a little extra edge when they get on the bump every 5 days?
No doubt. And I just talked to guys about Lackey a few hours ago. Somebody asked me about John Lackey, and I just said, look, this dude's the greatest dude for 4 days. And the day he pitched, he's the biggest asshole on the team. You know, like you love him for it because he brings. I thought getting him when Theo and them went out and got him in 2016, it was the biggest need for our team because he brought an edge that we didn't have. He brought that FU to the other team. I'm going to do my thing. I'm out here to compete. I'm out here to win, and everybody be on board because it's my day and lock it in. And I understand having a little bit of that anger when you're older, especially 37, 38. You need to get more out of yourself, and sometimes putting a chip on your shoulder or having a way to get yourself going when you're older and a lot of expectations on you, and especially when you're a starting pitcher and the game is in your hands. That's important, and so you may need to take your mind to a different place.
So you're saying Lackey was a cool guy in the
Lackey is an amazing dude.
There's no way that he was like mellow.
He is like the ultimate clubhouse. Like, hey, let's sit down and have a beer.
Yeah, but
I'm in on anything.
I would imagine he gets so locked in on the pitching days that he just like turns it down maybe one notch, and he's like, everyone's like, wow, Lackey's really cool today. He's still like just the most intense, crazy person in the world.
No, he's not that bad. He's down with. He's like whatever the boys are down with. I'm down with. Like if we're all going out to dinner and gonna go out, like no matter what, hey. This is what we're doing. This is what the boys are doing. I'm down.
Do you consider that you have a personal pitcher, or that the pitchers have you as a personal catcher?
I don't know.
It's like who's walking who?
Yeah.
Who's the alpha?
Yeah. Daddy. This guy. No, I honestly, it becomes one of those things like. It's funny, I laugh now that I'm out of the game, but John Lester is an amazing pitcher. But on the days that he was having a bad day, I expect so much out of him, greatness. Like, I'm pissed at him for making a bad pitch. You know, like, I'm not throwing the ball. Why am I so mad at him? But that's the kind of attitude I take. It's like a big brother, little brother, like, hey, I expect a lot out of you, so I'm going to hold you to that standard. So it is a lot of like me barking. I got to catch Bronson Arroyo early in his career, and I was like his personal catcher. And it's the same. You create that relationship where you just kind of push each other's buttons to get the most out of them.
How does that start? Like, how do you know that, okay, this guy is going to be my guy. I'm going to get brought in specifically for his starts. Like, you're just catching him in practice, and you're like, hey, we got something here.
Bronson started in spring training, and his first, it kind of worked out. We both got traded over together. He was from Boston, and I was from San Diego, and we came in. We had a spring training game. It just went really smooth and a good rhythm, and they recognized that. And LaRue was hurt, and they wanted to get me a spot, and so I once every fifth day, and then ended up having a good year and caught a little more. And then getting over to Boston, I think is just same thing. You kind of create that relationship in spring training, a little bit of rapport. We talk about mechanics and different things you want to do with the baseball, and I try to listen to the pitching coach and maybe have a thing or two here that I may coach throughout an outing or a spring training outing. So you just create a little bit of a trust and a bond, and then you go through some things throughout. Boston, we went through a lot of turmoil or I would say maybe situations where high leverage and intensity in the playoffs and then winning World Series. So it just became one of those things. We worked well together, and he had good numbers.
How weird was it that Lester could never throw to first? Did you guys ever sit down and you're just like, dude, what's wrong with you?
Never. Actually, I had a throwing issue when I was in the minor leagues.
You had the yips?
I had kind of ish.
The yips. I like how the yips are so like, because if you say you had the yips, you're Chuck Knobloch and you're throwing it 15 feet into the stands, so you can't fully say the Y word.
Well, I had a form. I would say I had like the yip.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe not the P.
You got a touch of the yips.
You got a touch of the yips. Our catching guy wouldn't let me tap my glove when we played catch. He said, if you tap your glove when you play catch, something I've done my whole life. Like, when we play catch, you tap your glove and you throw it to the guy, right?
Right.
And he's like, don't tap your glove because when you field bunts, you tap your glove, it may be bang, bang, and he's going to be safe. So I'm like, a young kid, I'm like, okay, that's right. So I started throwing this, like, cutter. Like, everything that was coming out of my hand was like a cutter, and I still have it to every once in a while when I lob it back to the pitcher, they'll, like, look back at me like, what was that? And it's
like you're throwing junk at him?
Yeah, like a breaking ball, like a cutter. And then it got to be where I was throwing it down to second, and I was like having to start it like at the runner.
You're
and like
aiming off. Yeah.
And then I threw one. It was a bullpen in Vero Beach. I'll never forget. I threw one onto the field. The bullpens were on the field, like at Wrigley used to be, and I threw it onto the field, and it was like it just put like this block in my head, like, oh gosh, like don't do that again. Stop the whole game. And then sure, it was like about a 4-month thing from spring training. Finally, one day I was like, screw this, I'm playing catch. Started tapping my glove and went away.
And so what about Lester? Like, did you guys ever
avoided
sit
the question
down and you're like,
no, I never talked to him about it because of that. And I
so
remember
it was awkward. No one brought it up?
Well, we really worked on ways to prevent it. Me and Riz would come up with like pick-off plays and
you guys would basically like, all right, Lester's not going to throw to first. I got to throw to first.
Yeah, and it actually worked out great because we a lot of teams would stop taking big secondaries. Adrian Gonzalez got thrown out in the Dodger game, first one from Ben Zobrist.
Yes.
Okay, so he was taking this huge league at second, and then his secondary, he was going back because he knew I would pick. So he went back, then the base hit to left. He had a terrible jump, got thrown out by like 3 feet at home by Zobrist. Huge play in the game. So I think it's one of those things. We didn't talk about it much, but we just tried to work around it, really.
So would he ever bring it up? Like, man, this is weird. I can't throw to first.
No, I think it's one of those you just everybody knows it, so you just kind of like the elephant in the room.
That's awesome.
Do you think that
he can now though? He's picked off a couple guys.
Off a couple guys. He's done.
All you gotta do is pick off one, and then everyone's like, okay, he can do it now.
That's right. Well, it takes one, and then everybody thinks they can run on you, and then you throw one guy out, and everybody stops. I just talked to AJ Hinch, and he's like, you threw out George Springer. We played you. We were gonna run everywhere, and everybody got scared after that. I'm like, yeah, throw out one guy or pick one guy off, and it's over with.
And he was excited when he picked that one guy off too. He was like screaming at him like, fuck yeah.
He loves it. Because I think he's fighting it in his head, right?
Sure.
I know he knows.
Do you think that because you started to kind of throw a cutter for a while, that's why you're such a good pitcher? And you threw how many scoreless innings do you have?
I got 2.
So you have like the best ERA
scoreless, perfect
in the history of Major League Baseball.
Yes. So we were on air the other night with Rick Sutcliffe, and he's always giving me crap like I'm the young guy on the radio, and he says, "So David, how many stolen bases you got?" And I've probably got like 1 or 2. I don't even know. And I think he's got like 3 or 4. So he was about to say, I was like, I don't know, Rick, what's your career ERA? And he like zipped it real quick.
Yeah, I like that.
I got two scoreless. 2 perfect innings. That was talk about being scared. That's a scary feeling when you're used to being back there and you're throwing 70 miles an hour, and Lance Lynn's up at the plate. I'm like, please don't hit this back at me.
Right? Were you like throwing cutters and stuff at him?
I really took the approach like I'm gonna lob it in. I'm gonna lob it. This is BP. Like, what am I doing? I'm not gonna hurt myself. I'm gonna lob it in. Just throw it below the hitting speed, and guys popped it out. Addy made a good play. It made me laugh when I was coming out. I was like, oh, that was easy.
Yeah, we
just lob it in there. Yeah.
You have 3 stolen bases.
Oh, nice.
3.
Nice.
Yeah. It took you like a while to get your first one.
I got the base at home. It was in Philly.
It took you 10 years to get your first stolen base.
I got the base at home. I think we were playing the Philly at Philly, and as soon as I stole it, I was running off. And I saw it was towards the end of the game. It was in like the 8th, and I saw the ground crew guys like, "Hey, I'm gonna need that base, buddy. I'll buy it. I'm gonna need that one. Like, if my career ends tomorrow, I need that base."
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Big base at home with the Philly sticker on the side. It makes me laugh.
So you played at a bunch of different cities. Which one is the worst fan wise?
Philly.
Ooh, that wasn't even a hesitation. I like it.
They get on you with a hatred.
Yeah.
It's and I get it now. I know. And Shane Victorino, we talked a lot in Boston, and everybody who knows Philly and is from Philly loves the Phillies and loves the fans. But it was one of those when I was the Braves, and they were so good. They kicked our butts all the time. But I struck out a lot, so I would be walking back to the base, and I mean the fans literally wanting to anger in the face, like they mean it.
Right.
They're not trying to heckle you and sound cool to their friends.
They want to throw a battery at you.
Yeah. Like I really I want to fight you right now. Yes. And then I'm like, the alpha male part comes out, and you're like, I want to fight you too, and meet me outside. I'll kill you. So I just struck out, and I hate my life. One of those things. So definitely for me, the hatred in the Phillies fans' voice was rough.
What about all the travel? I'm a big ghost guy. Were there any haunted hotels that you'd stay at?
So you got to hear. Question. You got to hear about the Pfister, right?
Yeah, the Pfister in Milwaukee. I've heard many times.
I've heard. Yeah, that's the only one I've heard. And Adrian Beltre, while we were in L.A., he got up and switched hotels in the middle of the night, and I saw him telling the story the next day in the locker room. The look in his eyes was as real as it gets.
Yeah.
Was as real as it gets.
Well, VJ says that Starlin Castro would sometimes not want to stay at the Pfister.
Yeah, and there's in the Pfister, they have a new side and an old side, and I got it when I didn't really get it much until Hayward got me the suites on the road. The suite side is the old side, and it's a little creepy over there.
Did you feel it?
I walked in, was like, I get it. Like, I never saw a ghost or felt anything, but I definitely walked into the room and go, okay, now it makes sense.
Are there any other hotels or any other places, cities that you're like, all right, something's weird? Or maybe like the cities you didn't like to go to?
The cities I didn't like to go to. Most cities are great. I'm trying to think. Everybody always asks about the favorites. I love the bad ones. There's no... Trying to think. We stayed in a bad hotel once in Miami.
Just say St. Louis.
Because Griffith,
Big Cat's just fishing for St. Louis right now.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Sorry. You know
stinks. Yeah.
Well, the area. But you know what? The hotel there is like right across the street.
Yeah,
I love the walking.
We'll cut this part. Yeah, we'll cut this part. Okay, that's perfect. Yeah.
What is your favorite unwritten rule in baseball?
Favorite unwritten rule. Ooh.
I'm gonna write it down. Go ahead.
I have no idea. Give me some options, because my mind's racing right now about all the things that my pet peeves.
You can't bunt if the pitcher's throwing a really good game.
Yeah.
Dumb. Stupid.
Okay. I actually like that one.
You can't bunt on the. It's about. I saw a guy get picked off second base last night. Was mad that they picked him off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can't do that.
What? I can't do it because the game's out of hand. Like
game's
still playing baseball. Okay, so here's one I want to propose is because. If you're going to shift on a player, they should be able to bunt, right? Mm-hmm. If you want to bunt, you should bunt.
Yeah.
Okay, if the game's out of hand, do you still let them bunt?
Yeah.
Right.
You shouldn't shift.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You're taking away half the field for me. You stop being gamesmanship.
Then I'll stop.
I'll stop. I'll stop trying to get a hit as soon as you stop trying to defend a whole side of the field.
Right.
Some people don't like the fact like, oh, you guys, we're up 9-1 or we're down 9-1.
Yeah, I agree. If you're up 9-1 and you're shifting, that's a dick move on your side.
Right. Stop shifting.
Yeah. So unwritten rule: don't shift when you're up.
I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
I'm in on that one.
Thank you.
I say you beat him like a man, and you hit into the teeth of their defense.
Yeah.
If you can't beat them when they're playing at their best defense against you, don't try this little rinky-dink stuff and try to outsmart somebody.
You don't believe that. I see it in your eyes. You don't believe that.
Yeah. Which ump did you hate the most, and which ump did you like the most? You can say Joe West for obviously hate.
No, Joe West.
This is my favorite way. Before you say it, I'll say it. Joe West, like, you know,
I'll tell you a
he
funny story.
sometimes takes over the game, but we respect that he's consistent in his shittiness.
No. He can be definitely. He can be a dick. I mean, like,
Yeah.
there's no doubt. He told me one time I struck out and dropped an F-bomb on my way back, and you know, just part of the game. And I don't always want to drop F-bombs, but I walked back out to catch, and he's like, "Hey, there's kids out there. You need to watch your language."
That's so Joe West.
Joe West looking out for the people in the front rows.
I said, Joe, you're not my dad. You don't tell me how to talk. Like,
Yeah.
that's not an option for you.
Yeah.
Like, you umpire the game, and I get it, Joe. Like, I'm not trying to cuss in front of kids. Like,
Right.
but I don't need my dad out here policing
Joe
my
West
language.
thinks he's. I mean, Joe. I saw there was a picture this year. A kid was getting an autograph from Joe West. Joe West thinks he's part of the. He's part of the game. Like, people come to see Joe
Cowboy
West.
Joe.
Yeah.
You're right.
What does
you're
he
right.
smell like? I feel like he's got a radish thing going on.
No, it's more like a brute Old Spice, old man kind of cologne.
okay.
Yeah.
Like your grandfather.
I don't hate
he's
that
been
from
around
Joe
a while.
West. Yeah, I don't hate that.
No.
That's about as good as you can expect from him.
Yeah, it's nice. Favorite.
Or let me ask this way: would you play were there certain umps that you would like kind of, I don't know, like grease up a little, or you knew them and you knew that you'd maybe get some favorable calls?
Maybe not. There's some that you can definitely talk to, and you're like, I would rather have a rapport with this guy than. But there's some you can't talk to, and those are the ones you don't like. Like,
Right.
why are you being a jerk? Like, come on, like, we're all in this together. I've been back here for a while. I know a strike from a ball.
Right.
You too. Let's have a conversation. Like, okay, you missed it. Cool. Umpire tells me they missed a pitch. What am I going to say?
Would that happen often?
All
Or
the
they're just
time.
like, oh, I fucked that up.
Yeah, sorry, Rossi. I might have missed.
How
I
does that
might have
happen?
missed
They
that when you
just-
get a lot.
They just like their brain freezes up, or
Well, it's just a borderline pitch that they
And
may
they just-
either. Sometimes, honestly, it's our fault. Like the Lackey thing that Contreras didn't catch real well.
That was an amazing,
That was intense,
amazing
right?
performance. I was there. I was sitting like 10 rows behind home plate, and that was Lackey screaming at the ump while the ball's in play and trying to cover home
I
plate.
thought he was going to tackle him when he was
unbelievable. Yeah.
running back. I was like, oh gosh, this is going to be the end of John Lackey right
I
here.
think Contreras got mad. Contreras like did that thing where like if I go over the top mad, maybe Lackey will chill out.
Right.
Because Lackey's about to like eat this ump's heart.
Or it's like he's so mad I should be even madder because right.
Yeah, like we're
That's
so
not-
pissed together. Like it seemed kind of fake from Contreras, and like because he wasn't mad, and then he was like, all of a sudden-
Really, yeah. So I felt that too. Yeah, that's what I text Lax like, hey, did you cross him up because he didn't catch it real great, and he was like. He was just, I think he was about 5 beers deep at that point, and he just started F-bombs on text. I was like, all right, I won't use that on TV.
I wanted to give you the opportunity to take Big Cat's man card because I think you made him cry during the World Series last year.
Yeah, there's a little tears.
I've been doing, and I know you're all the manly, rar, alpha male.
Yeah, obviously.
I've been doing a lot of crying.
You have? Why?
Well, I cry when just the fact of all the nice things that have happened to me, the curtain calls and the dudes lift me on their shoulders and
Yeah, that's okay.
all
That's
that
okay.
stuff. Yeah,
what
yeah.
else? What else you been crying about?
No, just that.
When was the last
family
time you
stuff.
cried?
When
was the last time you cried?
Probably the dancing when they ask about family and
You cried on that?
Yeah, I'm a crier.
card.
I'm a crier. I really
Man
am.
card.
You can take my man. I'm definitely. You're going to see me shed a tear or two. I'm just
Actually,
being
man
honest
card.
with you guys.
I agree. I think if you cry about sports, you actually get a new man card. You get the black card.
Yeah.
like American
It's true.
Express.
That's as manly as you can be,
The,
yeah.
nice, the non-flimsy one. It's
Yeah.
like metal.
Yeah,
Yes.
as manly as you can be.
Like it.
I like that.
Like that.
Wait, so
This is awesome. This is great.
So you've been doing this whole whirlwind. Have you like kept in touch with all the guys on the Cubs right now? Do you feel like you could walk in and be, because you're a special? What did Theo? Theo gave you some fake job to
Yeah,
so you
he's
could get
like-
a paycheck, right?
well, yeah, well,
like,
he
is that
just
tax fraud?
helped
Are
me-
you tax frauding?
No.
That's like Jerry Reinsdorf has that with Scottie Pippen. Like, go sit on the
No,
bench
I've
over
sat
there.
in some meetings and I've actually seen some players and
So you're doing something.
Yes, and it's each year I do more and more. So next year I'll go see some like shadow the minor league field coordinator and
Got it.
and learn about scouting. Write my own report. He really wants me to write my own report and put my name in with a guy and what I think about a player. And he said that's an important thing. And I was in all the trade deadline meetings. Was awesome. Like
Yeah.
to sit in that room and give your opinion on players and what you've heard about their
How intense were
personality.
those?
Very.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot. There's a lot of information and a lot to be processed. You think it's just, I want that player. Let me go try to get this player, and we'll give you this player. It's like, no, there's like salary involved, how much time they have left, and who we got coming to the minor leagues. And I mean, it's like a big puzzle.
Do Theo and Jed play good cop, bad cop with other GMs? They give like a All right.
They
That's
don't-
the final offer. That Jed's like, hey,
I wasn't in there for
Theo's
like
in a
that,
bad
no.
mood today.
They talk about that when they make the phone call. They go and they go in a private room and send their offices.
We're not in.
Keep the magic
I'm not in that.
Who's in that room? Just Theo,
Just-
Jed, and Scott.
No, and where they have the phone conversation.
Yeah.
No, they just go.
Oh, they go one- okay, yeah, got it.
like you would have a personal phone call. They would just go and have that. But
What's your official job title?
good question. Maybe special assistant.
You should learn this when the IRS comes.
Yeah, I should know.
This
It's
is
probably
the
in
first
a-
question they ask.
It's probably in a form somewhere at my house. There's probably something I haven't filled out. It's like papers all over my kitchen table. It's like, hey, you might need to get to these at some point.
Just call yourself assistant to this traveling secretary, like
Yeah.
George Costanza's title.
Oh, I like that.
Nobody knows what that was.
VJ's the
Yeah,
best.
VJ's the best.
He's the best. So
and VJ would vouch for you.
He definitely
Yeah,
would.
he'd
And
be like,
I
oh,
would be
yeah,
his assistant.
Yes.
Like, that'd be the greatest job ever. Like, VJ's the man.
Oh man,
He's phenomenal.
All right, do we have anything else?
I think we're good.
This was great. Thank you so
Oh,
much.
man.
Everyone check out, we'll say it one more time, MLB.com/ScottsField. Do you have like the finalists?
Put in your applications. We're going to go over the applications and pick the 5 best recipients for new fields.
Okay.
All right.
Little
Sounds
fields.
awesome.
Yeah, please.
All right. Thank you.
Reply.
All right. So that was David Ross, 2-time World Series champion.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
That interview is brought to you by MyBookie. You know, ever since I started this podcast, people keep asking for advice. Usually it's what team to bet on this week.
Hey, PFT, what team to bet on this week?
Well, I'll tell you what. Where you're betting is just as important as who you're betting on, Big Cat. So that's why I always tell people to go to mybookie.ag. MyBookie has been in this business for years, and their rep is rock solid. They do 100% cash bonuses, so right off the bat, you're making money for doing nothing. And they have the fastest payouts, seriously, just 2 business days. You know who's going to win, right? So lay down some cash and win big today. I would only recommend a service to my listeners that's been good to me. That's why I'm urging you to make your way to MyBookie. You win. They pay. They've also got in-game live betting and the most rewarding player perks in the business, and an all-new mobile site that makes wagering on the go a breeze. So join now, and MyBookie is going to match your deposit with up to 100% bonus. Use promo code PMT to activate. Visit mybookie.ag today. You play, you win, you get paid. The interview is also brought to you by ZipRecruiter. If you're in need of talent, great talent for your business, but you're short on time, you don't have to get lost in a huge stack of resumes to find your perfect hire. You just need the right tools. You need smarter tools. With ZipRecruiter, you can post your job to over 100 of the web's leading job boards with just one click, so you can rest easy knowing that your job is being seen by the right candidates. Then ZipRecruiter puts its smart matching technology to work, actively notifying qualified candidates about your job within minutes of posting, so you receive the best possible matches. That's why ZipRecruiter is different. Unlike other hiring sites, they don't depend on the right candidates finding you, it finds them. No wonder 80% of people who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site in just one day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire, and right now, my listeners can post jobs on ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/PMT. That's ZipRecruiter.com/PMT. One more time for the folks in the back. ZipRecruiter.com/PMT.
All right, let's get to some segments. Our newest segment. By the way, we were joking when we said this last week. I think some people get confused with jokes sometimes. We're actually kicking the shit out of every fantasy podcast. It was just more like an excuse to be like, oh, let's start this new fantasy expert. Yeah, we kick the shit out of them. We kick the shit out of them up and down the street.
We're shit kickers.
Yeah, we
Fuck
shit
those
kick 60
podcasts.
minutes every fucking Sunday.
Guess what? This
no,
is the
we really
shit
do
kicking,
though.
the
No
shit
offense.
kicking fantasy football factory.
We got some friends who do fantasy football podcasts, but we kick the shit out of them too. Anyway, we started a new segment. It's called Fantasy Experts. We're going to give you the best fantasy advice every single Friday. Start 'em, sit 'em, sleeper.
Hank, hit the music.
All right.
This is Bob Giacomo.
And John Jock. And
Marco.
Marco. All
Big
right,
Mark, the big
Marco.
Marco.
All right, go, PFT.
This is John Giacomo, Bill Jock, Bob Giacomo. I got some huge fantasy winners and tips for you guys coming this weekend. My stardom for the weekend is tunes. Start those tunes, get the boombox going, crank up the dial. More rock, less talk. Time for some weekend jams. No more work, so you know what time that is. It's time to boogie. My sit-em is Michael Crabtree. I don't trust EJ Manuel as far as he could throw me. My sleeper this week is setting up a couple J.O. sessions to your old Playboy stash. R.I.P. Hugh Hefner. So long, and thanks for all the boners.
Oh, the original king. Am I right?
You tell me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. John Jock giving you your fantasy expert tips. Start 'em, puppies.
Yeah.
Ooh, so cute. You got having a bad day? Look at a puppy. Want to see a funny video? Look at a puppy.
Go pick up a puppy.
Get a puppy. They piss everywhere, but they're cute as fuck. All right, sit 'em. Polio still exists. People forget that, and if you do forget that, you might get polio, and you'll be sitting forever.
March your ass down to the clinic. Get a vaccination. You fucking idiot.
Sleeper. I've seen enough, boys. I've seen enough. He's a rookie, but I'm finally gonna pick him up on my waiver wire. I'm talking about Kareem Hunt. He's my sleeper of the week.
All right, it's Marco. My stardom, baked potatoes.
Yeah.
Load up with
Ooh.
cheese, maybe some bacon.
Yeah.
Dig in.
Bacon always makes everything better.
Love bacon, epic bacon for the win. Hey, Marco, let me give you a little tip. You like once baked potatoes? Try them twice baked.
Oh, you bake them once, then you bake them again.
Oh, yeah.
My sit-em is rakes. Fuck your lawn, fuck yard work, let them sit, let the leaves sit.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
my
fuck those leaves.
Yeah, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
You falling in my yard.
You fucking leaves.
Get your own yard.
My sleeper,
Leave me alone.
Hunter Henry, tight end.
All right, that was fantasy experts. I got a little out of hand. Hopefully it comes across with the music because we do that silently in the studio, and it's 1 a.m. and we're screaming into microphones about leaves and polio.
No, seriously, straight up.
Hugh Hefner.
Fuck rakes.
Yeah, hey, fuck rakes.
I'm anti-rake.
It's like Sideshow Bob just stepping on rakes.
Those are
Boing.
were those rakes or hose?
I think it was rakes. He just kept it. Remember, he just like turned around, step on a rake, boing,
yeah.
boom, take it away.
Yeah.
All right, all right. Let's get to something serious. We have a sorry not sorry we have to discuss. It is Cam Newton. Very problematic Cam Newton. That's what we should actually. That should how he should be addressed.
It's a new nickname.
Yeah.
VPC?
Yeah, it's like that's when Meta World Peace, when Ron Artest changed to Meta
Very
World Peace,
problematic
very
Cam.
problematic Cam. So he belittled a female reporter on Wednesday, sure.
Yeah,
we don't
yesterday.
know what day it is anymore. And then he came out and apologized, but he actually did kind of apologize. So it's not fully a sorry not sorry, but he said he doesn't want to be a role model. He did the Charles Barkley.
Yeah,
route.
well, he also kind of did the I'm sorry to anybody that I offended, which is a classic way to say, hey, kind of put it on you. Take a little bit of responsibility for yourself. Like show you're just as much a part of this equation as I am, because if I had just said something wildly misogynistic to a wall, no one's getting offended.
Yes.
Takes two to tango.
My favorite part about the Cam Newton mini controversy here was it set off the Twitter language domino. So a lot of people rushed to say, Cam Newton, that's problematic, bro. Then there was a second wave. There's a tidal wave, and then there's another wave. This is Seach wave. And everyone said, hey, you saying that Cam Newton's problematic has racial undertones, so you, in fact, are problematic. Ooh. And then the third wave of people saying, hey, this whole discussion's problematic. And that all happened on Twitter. And guess what? The conclusion? We solved race in America.
We're all problematic.
Yeah, we figured it out, guys. Good job.
Cam, he should have just given a 2-word apology and just said, sorry, females.
Yes.
That's it.
Sorry.
That's how you know you're about to hear a take, by the way, is when somebody says, listen up, females. When you address them as females, that's when they start paying attention to you.
Put on your serious voice.
But all Cam Newton really had to do, if we're being honest, is just be like, hey, if I'm so sexist, how come I only alienate my male teammates? How come I refuse to dive on balls when men are there? I cross to the other side of the street when I see men on a loose ball.
He also could have just gone the Urban Dictionary route, which our friend KFC pointed out that a route on Urban Dictionary, which Urban Dictionary, by the way, that might be the most fugazi site ever, right? You can just put anything out. Like you can just be like, oh yeah, the route is a female who is a hoe. Like that's not a real thing. That is?
Yes.
That's a real thing?
Yes.
I've never heard that
So
before.
he could have
Everything
been
on
like
Urban Dictionary is a fact.
Yeah,
Might as well
so
be.
I think
it's
actually
Wikipedia.
probably someone from Cam Newton's
like the gospel.
camp put this in, and so he could have
she
been
was
like
asking him about
hoes.
hoes. And
So he was
what
like, "That's
thought-
funny because I don't belittle women. I don't talk about routes."
He's like, wow, yeah, that's really misogynistic of you to refer to him as a hoe.
reverse it.
And then you had Oikos joining in the fray. Gotta love when the Greek yogurt companies get in. And they dumped Cam as a sponsor right afterwards.
They put their foot down.
Yeah, they
Did
absolutely did.
see
You
a
could
headline?
say the relationship is very strained.
Yeah. Ooh, I like that. Do you see the
Bad culture.
Well, the great headline: Cam's mishap has his yogurt sponsorship expire.
That's a good one too.
It's a mouthful.
I was going to try to say something about fruit on bottom, but that would probably be. I couldn't figure out a good way to.
That
work.
could be problematic.
Could be problematic. So I'm just staying away from the F
Who knows
word.
what those words even mean
Yes,
anymore?
I don't know. I honestly don't know why it's probably. So,
Just hey, here's a tip: don't talk anyone ever again.
oh,
you just broke
so
it.
then there was another thing though. So after Oikos dropped them, then Cam's people came out and said, actually, Oikos didn't drop us. And then that created a whole new back and forth. And then Oikos the Greek yogurt company had to release a PR. I don't know. They got like the PR people involved and said, actually, we did release them. So I have a little spin zone or a PR tip for Cam.
Okay.
I picked this up back in my old business days. He should have just said it was the end of our fiscal year.
Yeah.
And that's a good excuse no matter what you're talking about. Nobody knows what it means.
Yeah.
But if I could say, sorry, we actually terminated our relationship with Cam Newton after the misogynistic comments because it's the end of our fiscal year.
Mm-hmm. That's it right there.
Everyone's like, oh, that makes sense from a business
shut
standpoint.
and close. Yeah. It's like,
Hey, I've got a good idea.
Tidy everything up.
We do business. Why don't we start and stop our years on completely different dates from everybody else?
Speaking of which, have you guys done your taxes?
Yes.
Oh, it's
I have
we
emailed
have.
with someone. I have
who's
started.
might do your taxes.
Yes.
Okay, because we're getting close. We're gonna keep reminding us every single time. All right.
Do you think Cam was just on his period?
Yeah, probably.
That was just
Yeah.
a prank.
Yeah, probably.
He's
He's
just on his
probably
period.
just being grumpy that time of the month. Don't ask
Yeah.
him.
He does period.
Or had he not had his coffee yet?
Here's a good joke. He does periods because he doesn't play for 4 quarters.
Business decision. Remember that?
I do.
Yeah.
Oikos made a business
Everyone
decision.
remembers that. Everyone. I can't. I would love to talk to the PR person for a Greek yogurt company who thinks that life's pretty good. You can just make a couple puns about yogurt and fruit on the bottom, and then boom, now you have to be getting into the Cam Newton controversy out of nowhere. He's probably just pounding his fist like, I didn't fucking sign up for this when I came to work for a yogurt company.
We sell yogurt.
Yeah. What the hell? Why am I talking about this? All right. Let's go. Oh,
Somebody sponsors Kin Bone, and the next day they're like, "What do you mean he's calling naked pregnant chicks human submarines and jerking off to them on Reddit?"
God damn it! I didn't sign up for this. Yeah, my stupid red sweaters are now ruined. But by the way, he can also go with the Danny Boy Kane video, which I posted the other night because it's such a classic. It's my favorite video on the entire internet. You just have to say we are handling it internally. If you say that, people can't say it's just being handled internally.
Keeping it
guys.
in-house.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we have a little PR 101. This is for our friend Katie Nolan. She actually had some news leak that she is going to ESPN, and that was it leaked before she could announce it. So a little PR 101 for her.
I guess they've been developing this or something, and I guess there's a way that these things are supposed to come out.
Right.
But she got preempted by somebody else.
Right.
We're talking about Katie Nolan here.
Katie Nolan.
Yeah.
She got preempted. It got leaked. I saw a little backlash, and it made me think, come on, guys. It's Katie Nolan. She's probably garnered some, trust with her fan base.
She's been producing some really high quality stuff for a while. I think that she has a relationship with her fan base too, where she respects them. She doesn't want to do anything that would ever compromise the product that she already puts out.
She always is thinking, what can she do to give her fans the best product, additional content, things that will take us to new places and purge new places and have a lot of fun and take everyone for the ride. And we always think, hey, listen, it would be a real shame if people were to jump to conclusions about what type of content Katie Nolan's making and just immediately assume that the content they love.
Maybe she wasn't going to keep doing part of my. She was going to keep doing her show. At the same level that she's been doing.
If I had to guess,
for these last, how long has it been that
we have 18 months. If I had to guess, okay, we're getting a little confused here. If I had to guess, and I know Katie, you know Katie, if I had to guess, she would keep doing the thing that everyone loves and keep doing it Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and anything new would be an addition and would be really fun and a great experience for all of her fans because she cares about her fans more than her fans realize.
Yes, and if you're thinking that she is going to be the kind of person who, her new show, is going to pull punches because maybe she's doing it on a channel that she's not used to, that might be historically limiting what what we
Yes.
as we in the general we
Yeah.
are allowed to say on that channel, then you just have to have a little more faith.
Little faith.
Just little.
More, like
we're
maybe
asking
just
you
a
to have a little faith in Katie.
Katie has built up a little bit of faith,
And she's
going
going to find a way that makes this all worth your while.
Yeah, and really fun for you. And so don't just assume that because you hear one thing about Katie's next adventure that everything's going to get ruined or anything's going to change, really.
We love you guys.
We love you guys. But I will say this, if the season ended today and we did the takeys,
Be a real shame.
Be real shame if the award-winning
people
listeners
just
didn't win the
counted
takeys.
us out because,
Maybe
or
we'll
counted Katie Nolan out.
Yeah, it would be a real shame if Katie's fans didn't win the takey for fans of the year
Oh, what's
if
this?
we did it
What's
tomorrow.
this on the calendar that I'm seeing right here? It says that there is not only an award for an AWL, but also AWV. I wonder what that could mean. I guess we'll just never find out.
Mooch owns that one.
Oh, yeah. I wonder what
award-winning watcher.
the viewership would think.
Okay, that was PR 101 about Katie
Katie,
Nolan.
yeah. So
Yes.
shout out Katie.
All right.
I'm confused.
No? Yeah. All right, let's finish up with Jimbos because we love you guys. We just said that. We'll say it again. Jimbos.
Oh, my Jimbo is I was working on a big project that was going to be awesome, and
Yeah.
then people found out about the project.
Yeah.
Okay, Hank.
And then they just assumed that the project was going to change everything. Hank.
Now I'm even more confused. I was in Cincinnati for a concert last night and was getting gas for the ride home. As I was walking into the gas station, a guy sped past me, ran over my toe, and all he did was scream sorry while still driving.
That's nice.
Turns out he was cutting through the parking lot to go into Skyline Chili.
Oh,
To
fuck
use the
this
bathroom.
guy. Yeah, he was emergency. Yeah, I've actually
I
had
understand.
I've had my foot run over before.
Have you?
Yeah, it wasn't that bad.
I
Man
had
up.
my foot run over by my leg, and it broke.
Was that time you got surgery on your foot and you didn't need to?
No, that is rough though, because like, one, if you get hit by a car and all you have to show for it is like kind of an owie on your foot,
Yeah.
then nobody's gonna believe that you got hit by a car. That should be a
Right.
much more badass sounding injury.
And the fact that he's a Skyline Chili fan, like that guy is just evil, pure evil, evil incarnate.
Yeah, you got run over by the person with the worst taste in the world. How does it make you feel?
Went to the bar the other night with some friends. The bartender had an accent, so I asked her if she was from Australia or England. Turns out she's from about 2 hours away, but has a speech impediment and can't just pronounce her R's or L's well.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Yeah, you're gonna want to. You want to just don't ask. Do you have an accent? Just say where you from. That's a lot easier.
Yeah, here's the thing. Even if a girl or woman or a male too, if a person has an accent,
A route analysis.
yes, if a person has an accent and they're in the service industry, the question they get all the time is, "Where's your accent from?"
That's why I like to go to Hard Rock Cafe because they always have where the people are from on their name tags.
That's why I always like to go to Hooters because it's always Tampa.
Yeah. From Tampa. Nope.
Never leave Tampa.
I'm from Jacksonville. You'll hear that every now and then.
That's a bit exotic.
Kind of
That's
crazy.
Yep, that's on the other side of town.
I'm just going to cut in with a Jimbo of my own here. The other day I was on the train and I had an iced coffee and it was like the morning. It was a packed train and I dropped the iced coffee on the ground. It spilled everywhere.
Oh, you motherfucker.
And I had to stand on the train with like 10 people around me, all just staring at me like pissed off. And all I could do was sit there as the coffee, like, as the train went forward and stopped, it just kept going farther down and hitting
that's
more
an
and more
interesting
people's feet.
science experiment. I like that. So I always wondered, it's like if you're on an airplane and you jump in the air, how come you don't fly to the back of the plane because the plane keeps going? But if you're on a train, it actually does work where the liquid goes all the way to the back.
Yes.
So that's actually, everybody on that train learned something that morning.
Hated your guts. So did anyone say anything?
One guy was just like, "Come on, man!" But like,
that guy is having a shitty life.
Yeah.
He's just like, he probably just got like, he's going through a divorce and he just lost his job.
He's short.
And then Hank comes on the fucking train and just spills coffee all over him.
What if
Come
it-
on, man.
Now, what if it was
Not
Chris
again.
Carter? That would have been funny, huh?
Yeah, that would have been great. Come on, man. Come on, man.
in line to go into the Yankee game before
Okay, no, you can
No,
do it.
Hank, you got this. Come on, Hank.
Hey, quick
that was my
pause.
first.
Hank,
That was my
Go,
first
Hank,
fuck
go.
up in a while.
Hank, it's
Go,
okay.
Hank.
It's okay.
Go,
It's all right. We trust you, man.
No one tells me when I do good. They just come at me when I do bad.
Well.
I was in line to get into Yankee Stadium before the game Tuesday night, and it looked like it was going to take forever, so we greased gate security $80 to jump to the front. They opened up 4 more gates as soon as we did. Would have only been another minute.
Who does what?
Yeah, I've never really been in the business of greasing anyone.
You paid to get into a game that you already got a ticket for?
You just didn't want to wait in line, I guess?
Yeah, that's a weird move. You should probably just do the old Hank Butter knife.
Oh, sorry. You didn't want to wait online.
Yes, in line.
Online.
Yankee fans.
You're a Yankee fan, yeah.
Bums.
How do you grease somebody? Do you fold up the 20 in the palm of your hand, do the handshake, or you just say, "Here's money"?
No, you go up to them really, really confidently. You look them dead in the eye. You take out the money and then you just put it right in their mouth. Ooh. Yeah,
money talks.
Yes, exactly. Shut them right up.
Down. These are terrible Jimbos.
Yeah, well, just do one more and then we'll end it.
I was at a work function on Monday night, and the conversation turned to Rick Pitino. Someone made the comment that he was leaving Louisville with egg on his face, and I couldn't help but add, and cum down his leg.
Ooh.
I looked to my right, and my manager, who is a female, is just glaring daggers at me. Later that night, I listened to the episode where you declared Rick Pitino jokes dead. Could have saved myself a lot of embarrassment.
Yeah, they're over. They're done.
I'm going to follow this one under not just like Rick Pitino jokes, but most times if you're at a work function, you don't want to use the word cum.
Yeah, jizz is better.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just say jizz, and then people will be like, "Oh, that's a classy gentleman,"
and
then shove money down their mouth, and then they won't do anything.
The author in me would say to show, not tell.
Yeah.
So instead of saying jizz,
just do the jerk off motion.
Do the hand.
Yeah, and then do it right on someone's face.
But you have to simulate the orgasm.
Yeah.
So you'd be like, oh, and then they'll be like, this guy's talking jizz.
Yeah,
one more.
Okay.
I overreacted to the Katie Nolan news announcement, even though I don't know the details.
Oh, that is a Jimbo.
Yeah, big Jimbo.
Yes, that is a
Probably
Jimbo.
shouldn't have done
Probably
that.
should
But
wait
you
till
know
the
what?
news actually is officially announced.
I'm going to speak for Katie on this and say we forgive you.
Yeah, we totally forgive you, and we still love you, and we're probably going to unsubscribe, resubscribe, and buy a Larry shirt.
Love you guys.